Island Time Studios. Got a special guest at the house today, Mr. Justin Kihano.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining us.
You want me to share this to make this go?
Yeah, let's do it. We're going to share it on Facebook real quick. Make sure if you're out there watching, like, share, ask any questions you got. We'll be looking out for them.
Got it.
Perfect. So what's going on, Justin? Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, I love the office here.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Justin.
And Baldwin County, born and raised. Lived in Orange Beach my whole life. And I went to Foley High School. Went straight into real estate right after. And been at it for about a decade now.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I believe we met when you first started in real estate.
That was around probably, you say 2014, probably 2015.
I'm thinking 2015 or 2016.
I think you just started doing home inspections.
Yep.
I think it was like my first year in real estate and your first year doing home inspections.
Yep.
And we were just walking side by side ever since.
That's right. So we met over here. I used to have a little office over here in the Landmark building in the back.
Mm-hmm.
No windows. I had to put a fan in there to kind of keep the room running. And I remember meeting up with you, and you had these Facebook ads that you were doing. Mm-hmm. And I remember one, it was like, always put the puppies on there.
Yeah. So I was really big into marketing on Facebook before every big company started dumping dollars into it. So I was running lead form ads, and all of my marketing revolved around asking for a referral. It was never like, click this link to, sell your home or anything like that. It was always referral based marketing, which worked 10 times better. Selling without selling is the way to go.
Oh yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Back then, nobody on the island was doing Facebook ads. Nobody knew how to do it. I mean, most marketing companies, it was so brand new that, that's pretty much how I got my start, was through text message automation and Facebook lead form ads, pretty much.
Gotcha. So yeah, I remember sitting back there, and you would actually go through how to do the ad, what to put into it, and I learned a lot from that because I started doing Facebook ads not long after and accelerated the home inspection business.
I think it was me, you, and Mike Carey. I was explaining why you guys needed social media. This was close to a decade ago.
Yeah.
And you guys took it and ran with it.
That's right. And it was a beautiful thing because it was like everybody was just starting to get on the Facebook. Mm-hmm. So huge thing. So tell us about what businesses you have.
Oh man, yeah, that's a hard one. So I've got, I believe it's 33, 34 properties in my portfolio now.
Wow, awesome.
That's what my main job has been property acquisition.
Okay.
So from that, I branched off and I renovated, I believe I'm at 11 now, 11 of my long-term rentals into Airbnbs. And then about 4 months ago, I just bought the old Jason's Fitness, renovated it into the gym of Foley now.
Nice.
And now I just launched a social media content company, like a social media agency. I'm a little bit all over the place.
Okay.
Diversified is what I like to say.
Nice. And all in stuff that either interconnects or stuff that's personally important to you.
Everything that I do pretty much backpacks off everything else.
Good. That's awesome. How important is it to have multiple flows of income or multiple businesses?
Man, that's been my big thing since I was about 18. I bought my first rental property at 18, and I realized that sideways money coming into your mailbox is something that makes life super important. It's super comfortable.
Absolutely.
So if you only have one source of income and that gets wiped out, you're done. You're hurting. You got two sources of income. You might be a little comfortable, but right now I think if I counted it all, I'm at 37, 38, 39 sources of income right now.
Wow, awesome.
It's going to be very hard to wipe me out.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
that's right.
When the hurricane hit, I had all my properties pretty much damaged, took a huge cash flow loss.
Yeah.
Quickly renovated it and realized my mistakes. I was like, I need to diversify quick. Now, it's very hard. Like I said, it's very hard to wipe me out.
Nice.
If somebody sues one of my companies, I've got 3, 4, 5 other ones to pick up the slack.
Pick it up.
If one of my properties burns down, it's okay. Now, if every one of my properties burns down at the same time, we got bigger issues.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Baldwin County's just underwater at that point.
That's right. So you do Airbnb. Is that the only type of rentals you do, or do you other type of rentals as well?
Commercial.
Okay.
I've converted all of my long-term residential into Airbnb.
Wow.
I've only got, I think, one apartment left that's rented long-term, but
Okay.
I've been friends with the guy forever, so
Gotcha.
until he moves out, he's pretty much good. But every long-term unit that I had, I swapped over to Airbnb. One, because in the past 10 years, I've only had to do 2 legal evictions.
Okay.
Which is amazing. That's like that's absolutely amazing. I do a good job at vetting my tenants.
Yeah,
and
that's important.
The 2 people that I've had to evict were tenants that I adopted from the previous owner.
Gotcha.
I've never had to evict a tenant that I personally picked.
Gotcha.
So when COVID hit, people didn't have to pay rent. People couldn't get evicted. I saw a flaw in my business. Nobody really took advantage of that in Baldwin County for my rentals, but I realized that it was a possibility.
Yeah.
With Airbnb, if they're there lower than 27 days, I believe, in Baldwin County, they're a short-term tenant, and if they don't pay, you can just change the lock code, call the sheriff, and they'll just throw them right out.
Wow.
But they also pay up front.
Okay.
So there's no room for people to really screw you, and if they do, it's covered by air cover up to $1 million.
Wow.
And I've had to do that 2 or 3 times. But if
Okay.
a long-term tenant, I mean, I probably got about $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in collections right now from like 6, 7 years ago that just I'm never going to see.
Yeah, right.
Tenants that have just wrecked my units. But with Airbnb, if somebody wrecks everything I have, I file an air cover and I get brand new furniture.
Wow.
It's not a process I want to do every day.
Yeah.
But it's there.
That's right. That's right. A little extra protection there.
Airbnb is just a wave right now that, you know, it's hard to get cash flow with long-term rentals. With interest rates so high, market's saturated, prices are just ridiculous still. People think you're going to make a lot of money off long-term rentals. You know this out of everybody. Like, you know, if you had 10 homes, you might be making $200 a month to the pocket per home.
Right, right.
Before something breaks. Airbnb, your cash flow is almost doubled or tripled in some scenarios.
Wow.
So it's a good way to squeeze cash flow out in an economy where cash flow is hard.
Yeah.
But it's not real estate. Airbnb is not real estate. It's hospitality. It's a separate entity. It's running a business.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that.
That's right. So break down the numbers on Airbnb, like on a bigger level or on a real simple level. So you buy a house for, let's say, $225,000, right? After expenses, what are you going to be making on that property, or what would you expect?
Let me do a case study for a property that's walking distance of here.
Okay.
I had 10 apartments, downtown Foley. Bought them about 5-6 years ago. When the hurricane hit, I was only making $600 a unit per 2-bedroom, and these were not the best quality property. I then decided to pivot and make them nicer to where I could accommodate a $1,200, $1,300 tenant. But then I sat down with a friend at lunch, and he told me, "Why are you not Airbnb-ing these things?" I was like, "I don't want to check in cleaners. I don't want to check in guests. I don't want to, just so much work." And he was like, "Well, if you run it like a business, it's not." And I was like, "You're right. Let me do some research into this. I've never went down that path before."
Yeah.
My $600 a month 2 bedrooms are now bringing in the off season $2,000 to $3,000 a month in the off season.
Okay, nice.
During the summertime, it's $4,000, $3,500, and this is Foley. This isn't even my Orange Beach properties.
Yeah.
But I went from a 10-unit apartment complex bringing in about $6,000 a month gross. Now it's bringing in $20,000 to $25,000
Wow,
plus or
that's
minus,
huge.
and that's during the off seasons right now. During the summer, I was staggering my units after the hurricane, so I'd renovate one, turn it into an Airbnb, move to the next one, move to the next one, move to the next one, get the guests out or get the tenants out. I had 5 units last summer that were 2 bedrooms, bringing $33,000.
Wow.
Compared to, 5 units beforehand would have been $3,000.
Yeah.
Now that was a different market back then last summer.
Right.
I'm curious to see what we're going to do this summer, but at the peak of the season, I had 5 Airbnbs. Now I have 11, with possibly a 12th one pending, and I have the option to turn my personal home into an Airbnb anytime.
Okay.
So
nice.
Airbnb offers a level of freedom
Yeah.
to where I can put all my personal belongings in an owner's closet in my house get up and leave for a month, and now my property is either breaking even or making me money, which is powerful.
Yo, big time.
Your house is not exactly an investment. I mean, the whole rich dad, poor dad, Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah. That's
Your
right.
home is a liability. There is some truth to that.
There is some truth to that.
It's not bringing in cash flow. It's only bringing in appreciation.
That's right.
But with Airbnb now, I can leave, and now my house becomes an asset, and I'm liquid. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want.
Nice.
So that's something I dove into about a year ago, and I think as of yesterday, I just crossed 225 in a year of gross income through Airbnb.
Wow.
And that's a fraction of my portfolio is now overperforming what my whole portfolio was multiple times over, which is insane to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How about your commercial properties? What kind of commercial do you focus on?
So right now I own 2 warehouses. I've got a building downtown Foley. I own a restaurant in Orange Beach, and I rent it back to the tenants. I've got a 12-unit RV park. I'm pretty all over the place when it comes to commercial. Commercial is a whole different ballgame.
It is.
It's I like it a little bit better than residential, multifamily.
Yeah.
But it's a lot harder to get into, and it's a lot harder to finance, and it's a lot harder to structure a deal commercially. I mean, you know this.
Yeah.
The effort it takes to do a commercial deal for me, I could buy 4 residential homes easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if you want to sell your commercial property, that becomes a whole different
ballgame.
Yeah. But my favorite right now is it's got to be warehouses.
Yeah. There's not many of them around. No. Nobody needs warehouse space.
No. And I've got one tenant that's been there for I adopted it from the last owner. He's been there 15 years.
Wow.
And I've never had a maintenance call.
Yeah.
The guy just fixes it himself. Commercial tenants are wonderful.
Yep.
Because they usually just fix it. Unless an AC's out and you're not on a net lease or a triple net lease, they usually will fix the smaller issues. If you do long-term rentals, tenants will call you for just the smallest things. Somebody say, hey, there's a light bulb out, but you just couldn't go to Dollar General and just screw it in. But by the time I'd get a maintenance guy to come out there, you could have changed this thing 5 times already.
Right.
If there's a leak in the ceiling, call me, definitely. But
if
you call me at 11 o'clock at night and say there's a light in the ceiling out, which has happened to me before,
yeah,
I'm going to get mad at you.
That's right.
But, I mean, we can go down to that rabbit hole. I've self-managed all my properties. I've never had a property manager.
Gotcha.
But it's all through running it like a business. My tenants have my phone number, and then they have my maintenance guy's phone number. So they know to call me if it's an extreme emergency. They call my maintenance guy if it's a minor emergency.
Gotcha.
I let them know, it's hey, if you call me at 2 o'clock in the morning for something dumb, you're not going to be renting from me.
Yeah, after that. That's right.
But I treat them with respect. It's I'm going to offer a valuable product. I'm going to give you nice service. If you ever call, something's broken, I'm going to have somebody there by the end of the day. If somebody was ever late on their rent, I would work with them. I'm look, humans have issues.
Right.
If you're going to be a week behind schedule on rent, I'm cool with that. That's fine. 2 weeks, I might have to charge you a late fee. If I don't hear from you after 2 weeks, eviction notice, non-negotiable. At that point, it's just disrespect.
Yeah.
I can't work with that. I can work with you if you're behind on your bills. I can work with that. Not a big deal. It's just when people let tenants run all over them.
Yeah.
It is a business transaction at the end of the day.
Right.
But they are humans, so there has to be a fine line.
Yeah. It's still managing people.
And everything that I do is all text message based. So I try to incentivize people to text me and don't call me. And that makes life 10 times easier. And I used to use a software where somebody would text me, either an assistant or a VA could just go through there and just do all the work.
Nice.
So if you want to run multiple rentals and not let it run you, get digital and get organized quick. And I learned that doing real estate at a young age. You've probably done the cold call game, mass email, text message.
Absolutely.
If you run it like a business, rentals are a business at the end of the day.
Absolutely. It's an investment, but it is a business.
Yes.
100%.
But I don't know what else. I don't know what else I can do that's going to pay me for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to be around in 30 years. I don't know if the things that I'm doing in my media company right now are going to be relevant in 5 years, 2 years, 3 years.
Facebook even going to be relevant?
I know that this building is probably going to be here in 30 years.
Absolutely.
Shy of a hurricane, but then it's insured.
Yeah.
So it's something that's safe, and there's delayed gratification with it. You're really not going to experience the comfort of rentals for at least 3 to 5 years for just one.
Yeah.
Once you get into like the 10 rental mark is when life really becomes comfortable.
That's right.
You can start to kind of supplement your income a little bit. Once you hit 20, you start, really feeling it.
Yeah.
Once you get 30 plus, it's almost like you just have the freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want. To an extent.
Awesome.
To an
That's
extent.
awesome. To an extent.
To an extent.
Yeah. I feel the same way. It took me, I got my first investment property in 2016, and then it took me another 2 years to get the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got that third one, it just started snowballing, because then it started multiplying versus adding up.
Yeah. How many are you at now?
I'm at 12.
My dude.
12.
Dude, that makes me so happy. Dude, it makes me so happy that we were sitting around a table 7 years ago, and I think at that time I only owned, it was like 1 property, 2 properties.
Yeah.
You were still learning the home inspection business. Dude, I mean, nobody was posting anything on social media. I mean, it was just, we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we look halfway professional, at least.
That's right. Got some passive income.
Yeah.
Set some goals, and the beauty of it, we stuck with them and persevered forward.
No, I mean, you and Mike have absolutely just amazed me over the past, 7 years. I mean, you guys we've all been walking the same path, and nobody gave up. Everything that you guys said that you were going to do at that table, you guys did it, which is impressive.
Same with you.
Yeah, there was no plan B for me.
Yeah. And you were probably about 110 pounds, and you freaking have bulk jacked yourself up.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, I think when we first started doing those meetings, I think I was like 21 years old.
Yep.
Bright-eyed and
that's right.
Still figuring out life.
Yeah.
I didn't really actually start getting the ball rolling until about my 3rd year in real estate. I bought my first property at 18. It was an accident. It was just completely an accident. I went in on a commercial unit with a partner.
Okay.
And I brought a little bit of money to the table, but what I brought was, hey, I'll manage it, I'll do whatever, and then in 5, 6, 7 years, I'll owner finance it, I'll cash you out, I'll get a loan, do whatever.
Okay.
It was completely an accident. Somebody said they were buying a property. I was like, how do I help? How do I get involved?
Yeah.
Just by asking.
I want to get in on this.
Definitely, just ask.
Yep.
My second property was a condo at Victoria Place.
Okay.
Right behind Tanger.
Yep.
Owner financing deal. Didn't know what I was doing, but
Yep.
I mean, it was from 1 to 3 years in real estate. I was just sharpening my sword, sharpening my axe.
Yep.
I was learning. I was listening to at least 4 hours of content a day, whether it was Grant Cardone, Bigger Pockets. I was taking real estate agents out for lunch. I was taking investors out for lunch multiple times a week. I was just learning. I didn't want to just go gung-ho buying properties because you can't mess up on your first couple of properties.
Yeah.
Like, you're not in a position where you can have negative cash flow, where you don't know what you're doing, where you have a termite damage. You can get wiped out, get foreclosed on. You're not buying another property for 8 years, file bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So I knew that I definitely realized that I was younger, didn't exactly know what I was doing, but if I surrounded myself with like-minded people and people that I wanted to, grow with and could help bring me up, and I proved that my time was valuable, I would be in a position after about 2 to 3 years to be able to buy properties. And like my 3rd year, it was like 12 properties that I just started going to town with. I just stacked up my capital for 3 years. Every commission that I made, just saved it, and I said, one day this is going to pay me for the rest of my life. Every paycheck I got, I was like, I'm just going to take, like, if I got like a $7,000, $8,000 commission, I'm putting like $6,500 of it in the bank, and then I'm going to figure out how to live off $500.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm going to live way below my means. I'm not going to have fun. Most 20, 21-year-olds are out partying every night. I was like, I don't care if it's going to take 80 hours a week. I don't care if I have to make 300, 500 phone calls a day for 8 months. I'm going to be able to be comfortable for life. Didn't know if it was going to work, but after about the 3rd year, it started working.
Started building up.
I started getting really discouraged around 2 years into it.
Yeah.
But then stuff starting to catch for me.
Sometimes you've got to press through that moment to where people get that fear. They see that they got to go through that hump, and they don't push through it. And on the other side, that's where the victory is. That's where the freaking...
Oh, yeah. Entrepreneurship's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I started my first company when I was 18, and there wasn't exactly like people weren't exactly telling me what to do. There wasn't that many like guidebooks on how to be an entrepreneur. I mean, you just get overwhelmed almost. You just type in how to be an entrepreneur on YouTube. You got a million different videos. You're just like, where do I go? Where do I start? And a lot of people, they try to start a business and they're confused on why they're not riding around in a Lamborghini in 6 months.
Yeah.
In most businesses, there's like a 95% failure rate in business.
Yep, in the first 2 or 3 years.
And you're usually not cash flow positive for years either.
That's right.
And if you can make it, I think it's like 3 to 5 years. If you can make it 3 to 5 years, you're good. You're good after that.
Absolutely.
To an extent.
Absolutely.
But if you can make it through, I tell people 3 years. Just stick it out for 3 years. Give it a solid 3 years. You might not get paid for your first 1 or 2 years, but if you can
be ready for that.
Just stick with it.
Yeah. So earlier you're talking about surrounding yourself by the right people.
Yes.
Has there been points where you've had the wrong people around and you've had to separate yourself?
100%. Yeah. 100%.
So how important is that on the journey of taking yourself to the next level?
So when I was 18, a pivotal moment was I took a vow of sobriety. I had life kind of hit me.
Yeah.
I got like knocked down in life, got knocked straight on my butt. Going broke, high school dropout, college dropout, didn't really have a future. And I realized I was like, I'm going down a very bad path right now. My friends were just out drinking every night. We were partying. It was just normal 18-year-old.
Yeah.
I had like almost no money in my bank. And I was like, I'm at the point where like stuff's about to get bad. I vowed I'm not going to touch a drop of alcohol until I have $100K in the bank. Because there was a Grant Cardone podcast. He was like, you don't need to be drinking until you're a millionaire. And I was scratching my head. I was like, I don't know how to become a millionaire, but let's shrink that. Let's shrink that down. If I save, like $33,000 a year, I can hit $100K in 3 years if I really grind. How do I save $33,000 a year? So then I just got into, YouTube, podcasts, books. I was like, I don't have any wealthy people in my life right now. So if I can't find them in the physical world, I got to find them in the digital world. So Grant Cardone, Gary Vee, Jim Rohn, Ty Lopez, back in the day. All of these people, I just started saying, if I can't find mentors in, real life, I can just listen to them.
Yep.
I can watch them. I can read from them. And after about 3 months of doing that, I just started asking people to take me on as like some sort of mentorship program. I was like, you teach me how to do it, I'll do whatever it takes. And mentors started just popping out left and right. Nice. But I had to go find them.
Yep.
I had to just ask around. I was like, who do you know that's killing it? Who do you know that has passive income? Who do you know that does real estate? I just started saying, I need to separate myself from the people that I grew up with, that were leading me down a wrong path. And now I got to start getting in the right rooms with people that can elevate me and can put me on a better path.
Absolutely.
And, I always just told people, look, I'll buy you lunch, 30 minutes of your time, and I'm not going to ask anything of you. I just want your wisdom. Yep. And a lot of people actually resonated with that and respected that.
Absolutely.
18 years old, I'm grateful that a lot of people gave me the time of day. But that was the moment where I said, I've got to stop hanging around people that are bringing me down, at least until I become stable. Once I become solid in life, I can afford to go around these people again.
Yeah.
And me distancing myself from them, I didn't just cut them off. I just said, hey, look, I'm going down a path. You can follow me, but with what you're doing right now, I'm not going to get to where I need to go.
That's right.
And that's a hard thing to do at 18.
Yeah.
Peer pressure is a real thing. Like, you are not stronger than peer pressure.
No.
Like, even to this day, man, I've got, even my friends right now, the old saying, if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you? I probably would now. Like, if 5 of my friends jumped off a bridge into some water, I'd probably be the next one. But I just surround myself people now with, you don't have to be rich, you don't have to be wealthy. I just need to see that you're moving forward in life. You have a conscious decision to move forward, and you're not making mistakes that would, affect my life as well.
Absolutely.
So your net work is your net worth. I'm a huge believer in that.
Absolutely. No, 100%. Yeah. 100%.
But that doesn't mean you should just, reach up to rich people and just try to hang out with them because they're rich. I focus more on mental wealth.
You got to find your tribe. You got to find the people that are like-minded, that you can click with and that genuinely want to help.
Find your tribe, choose your vibe.
Absolutely.
No, it's super important. And 2 years ago, me and my friend Lindsay, we made a conscious decision. I was like, you've been like one of the only business friends I've had for 10 years. I can only have these conversations with you. Why don't we start a networking group where me, you, and people under 30 can meet and talk about business, goals, life. And we started doing that 2 years ago, and now we've ramped it up and put it on steroids pretty much. And now I've got a group of like 15 plus younger entrepreneurs that I can run with now.
Wow, that's awesome.
And that's something you can do from scratch. So if anybody's listening to this, you can literally just DM somebody that you know that's killing it and say, you know, I might not be at your level yet, but what if I connect 2 or 3 other people, and now we grab coffee, or we can grab some cigars once a week, and we can talk about our life goals, how we're going to get there. And even if that's how somebody on a lower level can acclimate quick.
Yep.
If you just do a job of connecting millionaires, man, that's a skill itself.
That's right.
That's a free skill. You have social media now. Just find somebody with a Porsche or, you know, some fancy car in the profile picture. Message them and say, hey, I know a guy who's got a similar car. You want to go grab coffee?
Yeah.
I mean, social media now makes it so easy.
It does. It does. Let me ask you, what advice do you have for, you know, that 18-year-old or younger entrepreneur that's trying to start a business now?
That's hard. See, because half of me, I would tell them maybe not start it just yet. Find somebody who's actually doing it and work under them. But be fully transparent. Like, you know, if you want to start a lawn care company, don't just go work with somebody and steal their clientele. Just tell them, look, I'm going to work for you for a year or two, and then I'm going to branch off. But I'm going to be your best employee. But I mean, fully disclose everything. Now, replace lawn care with any other industry. Yeah. But man, at 18, dude, you are going to be just bouncing around.
Yeah.
A problem I had was I was just doing a machine gun approach, to where it was like, okay, I started my real estate company, got into being an agent. I'm just going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to do cold calls. I'm going to door knock. I'm going to, you know, do mailers. I'm going to do open houses. I'm going to do just literally everything until something sticks. It was a miserable life.
Yeah.
I mean, I was putting in the hours. Let's put it that way. There was a lot of sleepless nights, but I was just like, whatever it takes.
Right.
I luckily had a really, really wonderful mentor, Bob Shallow, who took me and guided me down it was a hard path. I mean, you know Bob more than anybody. Yeah. He doesn't tolerate anything less than, you know, perfection, satisfactory behavior. Like, if he smells that you're giving it 99%, you're offending him almost. Yeah. So luckily I had him guiding me. If it wasn't for Bob, I wouldn't be where I am today.
That's awesome.
So if I would encourage everyone to find somebody who you can learn from, because at 18 you can get wiped out, but if you move correct, you'll be so far ahead of the path. So find somebody that is doing what you want to do and add value to their life so they can repay it with wisdom, knowledge, even financial, you know, opportunities. But add value to somebody else who's already doing it, and you're just going to expedite the process. You can definitely do it on your own, but what if it takes you 5 years?
It takes you a lot longer.
You find somebody who's actually doing it, it might take you 6 months to a year to actually get to that level.
Absolutely. Great advice. Cool. What else do you want to share?
Man, let's get into, here's a good path. What would you do if you can go back to yourself at 18 and offer yourself a little bit of advice?
Man.
Let me flip this around. Let me interview the interviewer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So 18, I would, you know, I started a business when I was 20, 21. It's a power washing company. And then I was working as a manager for TGI Fridays. And then at night I was running this business, which was what I really wanted to do, was start my own business. It just happened to be power washing. Then I got an opportunity to be a general manager, get promoted, and have all these great things like benefits and, you know, all that stuff. So I took my dream and I just kind of put it on the shelf for the next 10 or 12 years. And, you know, probably some of the best years of my life were given during that time in the restaurant business. I mean, I can only imagine where my business would be now if I had launched on those earlier. So that's my lesson, or what I would say for advice is, if you're somebody out there and you've got that passion, you want that dream, you can't always take the safe road. You got to take some risks. You got to take some loans out, do some different things. They're a little bit risky, but they will pay off at the end if you are hardworking, dedicated, ethical, do the right things.
You got to get uncomfortable.
You got to get uncomfortable.
Oh man. So let's go down another path. Let's give out some business advice for what you're doing right now.
Sure.
What are you doing right now to kill it?
Right now, I'm in the commercial real estate space.
Mm-hmm.
Commercial office space is my niche right now. So when you look at commercial office space, it's similar to multifamily, but it's a little bit probably easier to manage. Nobody's in there at 3 o'clock in the morning clogging up toilets or different things like that. So when you look at the building, and this with multifamily, you control the value of that property more than you would a residential.
Right.
So if I bought a house, the house next door forecloses, another one short sales in the neighborhood, my house value went down.
Yeah.
I buy commercial real estate, make some improvements, increase the rent a little bit, the rent rolls higher, and go back to the bank and increase that value on it.
You can sell it at a lower cap rate.
Sell at a lower cap rate, yep. And you get more cash flow. Hell, I wouldn't sell any of them. I would rather cash out refi, because when you cash out refi, there's zero tax implications.
Speaking my language.
Versus taking that money, giving half of it to the government.
I've sold 2 properties in my life out of my portfolio, and I regret both of them. I regret selling both of them because I didn't know what a cash out refi was.
Yeah.
I just needed money. I was hungry. I was money hungry. I wasn't good at moving money around yet. I didn't take out an actual bank loan until I think 7 or 8 years into real estate. Everything I did was owner financing. I built my entire portfolio from vendors lien deeds.
Gotcha.
Which, if you don't know what that is, it's going to an owner saying, "Hey, I'll give you $20,000 down, $15,000 down. I'll give you 4%, 5%, 6% interest, whatever the market dictates.
Yep.
And then we'll put it on a 30-year note or like a 10-year balloon, something like that." I don't believe you should ever sell your real estate. And my argument against that is, do you think it's going to be worth more in 10 years?
Yep.
If yes, then why are you selling it?
That's right.
I mean, unless you absolutely need the capital, but if you can figure out a way to borrow against your real estate, problem solved.
Yep.
That's what I mean. Leverage is a scary thing. One of my goals is I want to be $100 million in debt before the time I die.
Yeah.
It's a very scary thing. Most people would hear that and be like, are you crazy?
I know
that $100 million worth of debt is going to be paying me $5 to $10 million a year minimum worth of cash flow.
Oh yeah.
At that point in my life, there's no reason why I shouldn't own 125, 150 plus $1 million worth of real estate.
Absolutely.
So, learning to use debt is powerful.
It's huge. And I'll look at my bank statement and add up the debt, and if it was 10 years ago, I'd be sick to my stomach.
Oh yeah. Now I'm sick to my stomach that I'm not double, triple, quadruple in debt.
That's right.
And debt leverages the market. It hedges against the market. So if inflation is 7, 8, 9, 10%, and you're borrowing money at 6%, you're beating the market right now.
Big time.
And you're getting cash flow from it. You're basically gambling with other people's money. Educated gamble.
That's right.
Real estate's one of the safest gambles you can do.
Yeah. Made more millionaires than anything else.
100%. So tell me, that's what you're doing in your real estate business. What about your home inspection business? Are you still hands-on in it?
So we're franchised out. So we have recently sold about a year ago, sold the Baldwin County territory to Mobile, to the owners of Mobile, Rion DePlease and his wife Courtney. And they've just been doing an awesome job killing it with those 2 franchises, and we still have the one in Pensacola as well.
You plan to sell that one?
That one is that territory is already sold, so basically I'm just a franchisor, not necessarily going through the attics and the crawl spaces anymore.
Okay.
And focused on real estate business. And my real estate business is similar to yours. Everything I make in real estate, I put aside until I have enough to buy my next property.
Love it.
Yeah. Last year I closed on 5 investment properties. This year I've already closed on my first one and have 2 more under contract.
I love it. I haven't bought anything this year. I'm taking a little bit of a hiatus from buying for another 6, 7, 8 months. It was like 16 remodels last year on all my properties, and I bought, it was either 4, 5, or 6 properties. I got to do my numbers. I've got 2 numbers in my head. But about November of last year, I told me and my friend group we're going on a 6-month social media run where 100% almost of my attention is going towards social media right now.
Wow, nice.
So I'm gonna catch back up to you. Give me about 6 months, I'll start buying real estate again. But right now, almost every ounce of mental capital and financial capital is going into social media right now.
Gotcha.
I think on YouTube last month we posted, it was like 175 videos.
Wow. Huge.
Working around the clock.
That's awesome.
Working around the clock.
Awesome.
I got
and
8.
It's going to pay tons of dividends.
Yeah, I have it's like 6 to 8 editors working for me around the clock pretty much right now.
Wow, just cranking
and this month we should post, it's between 200 and 250 videos.
Okay.
So the goal is to decrease my time of actually recording and editing and produce more content with it and increase the quality of our content.
Gotcha.
Alex Hormozy is a influencer that I love. He's like 33 years old, worth over like $100 million. He started a company called Gym Launch. Now he owns acquisition.com. His secret was, which one's better, quality or quantity?
Yeah.
Both. Do both. So I did a shotgun approach where I would take like an hour podcast, turn it into like 30, 40 clips on like TikTok, short, like YouTube, whatever. And I'm just getting all the juice out of every piece of content that I can and repurposing it on multiple platforms.
Nice.
So not only was it 175 videos on YouTube, but now I think last month I uploaded, it was like 80 videos, 90 videos to TikTok. We're now pushing Instagram and Facebook. We're about to start just dumping on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh.
And then my next personal one is Snapchat.
Okay.
But right now we're just really trying to dominate YouTube.
Gotcha.
I think
Gotcha.
as of today we had 1,000 subscribers in I think 2.5 months, 2 months.
Nice.
And we just crossed, it was like within 30 days, 250,000 something views.
Wow.
Which is insane for a brand new, it takes most
Yeah.
YouTube channels 22 months to hit 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
But most people aren't cranking out 175 plus videos a month.
That's right. When you're hitting that content, it'll come back.
I realize that physical real estate is cool, but digital and mental real estate is just as valuable. Mental real estate is something that's very valuable too. If you can live rent free in people's heads, and all they have to do is see you 27 times and you become almost a part of their personality at that point.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you've seen Grant Cardone 27 plus times in your life.
Absolutely.
His voice lives in the back of your head probably.
Yeah, that's right.
We just got to figure out how to get to that level.
That's right.
Eventually, you're going to see my videos 5-6 times a day, if you don't already, on every single platform. It's going to be very hard to get away from me.
Yeah.
I
see them all the time.
I'm taking my real estate approach where if somebody would, let's say they texted one of my short codes or they clicked on one of my links, I'd put a cookie on their phone and I would follow them around for 6 months and hit them with retargeting ads. The dog, you know, if anybody's selling real estate ads, they would just see like my, real estate videos. Then they would get an email once a week. They would get a text message every other week. They would get a phone call from me once a month. They would see my ad. They would see my billboards. People were just like, you're everywhere. And I'm just like, this whole situation doesn't cost me any money at all, barely. Like I used to be able to retarget people for, it was like a penny a touch almost.
Yep.
Zillow ads back in the day were like, if you wanted like 10% of the market share in Gulf Shores, it was like $3,000 a month. And you got like what, 15, 20 leads from that? Like, it was just absolutely horrible. Like you broke even at the end of the day off of them.
They haven't got any better.
Facebook, those same leads that would cost $50, $100, $200, I was getting them for like $2.50.
Yep.
So I was just like, okay, well, the next agent in Gulf Shores is spending $3K a month. If I dump $3K in a month, I'm getting 100x their leads.
Yeah,
I'm taking market quick.
Yep.
So I'm doing the same approach with social media right now. And we're creating a financial literacy platform where we're trying to teach pretty much what they don't teach in high school and college to younger entrepreneurs, like the importance of credit, the importance of buying real estate, the importance of developing a strong social circle, the importance of having high quality content. How to make better. You have an iPhone now. You can take what would cost $30,000 worth of camera equipment 20 years ago for less than $1,000 now. On a phone, you can edit it, record it, post it, all from a little device that sits in your pocket. And there's almost no excuse now.
Absolutely not.
Give me 6 months. I might impress you.
You're already impressing me.
We're pulling
Yeah.
after like 2 or 3 months of this last push, almost everybody in my group now is pulling it's like 1 million views a month on TikTok right now.
Wow.
And then we're really getting the hang of YouTube. YouTube's hard. YouTube's a very hard platform.
You got to work it.
You really got to work it. But I'm taking the luck out of the equation, where it's like, if I upload 100 videos, 2 of them got to be good.
Yeah. The harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yeah. That's just something I'm doing right now. That's keeping me busy for the moment.
Oh, I can imagine. Well, cool. I think we got some great insight into what Justin's got going on, some great advice for entrepreneurs in the business. I think we're both pretty open. So anybody's got any questions for Justin or myself, reach out to us online, social media, wherever it is.
I'm proud of you, really.
Yeah, I'm proud of you too, man. You freaking have come so far, and I can't wait to kind of see the end of that book, the end of that story, where you kind of end up.
Dude, life's about to get very, very comfortable for you too, or maybe uncomfortable. But you're the kind of guy that's comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But if you keep going down the path that you are, man, in 5 years you're gonna just own all of Baldwin County. Well, the parts that I'm not trying to buy.
That's right.
I'll race you to
the
it.
other half that you don't have.
I'll race you. You can take all the commercial office space. That's not my department.
That's right. And that's the important thing too. You got to find your niche. Yeah. Find what you love. So.
That's the beautiful part about real estate. You can go off and you personally could go buy 100 pieces of property and I wouldn't even know you did it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be competition for me.
That's right.
So there's plenty of wealth to go around.
Oh, big time.
You got any advice for the audience? The younger?
Stick in there. Don't give up on your dreams. Never give up on your dreams. Work hard. Show up. Show up. That's a big one. Just show up.
Bob, one of the best pieces of advice he gave me was like 90% of success is just showing up.
Yeah.
And he just used to just drive that into me. And
absolutely.
You've been with Bob now for what, about a year?
Yeah.
How you liking him?
It's good.
Dude, being around him for like 5 minutes is like a whole year of college.
Yeah.
Man, that I've only seen him a couple of times over the past few years, but I got to walk side by side with him for about 3 to 5 years, and it was. Yeah. I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for Bob.
Absolutely.
But I followed that man around with like a pen and a paper, and I was like, everything he said, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back and touch back on this later.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's huge. But yeah, looking forward to seeing where we go and where we grow. We always stay connected. We kind of do our thing for a little while, then we kind of catch up, and then do our thing for a little while and catch up, and it seems like we're always on the same
100%.
Trajectory.
No, you definitely motivate me too. I'm like, all right, he's killing it. He's still doing it. Gives me hope.
That's right.
And in Baldwin County, seeing people that just will stay consistent.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Good.
Man, thank you for coming out on the show today. Really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you on the next podcast.
Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button, too.
Hit the subscribe, like, follow. Make sure to check out Justin's YouTube channel as well.
It might impress you.